In our last video, we discussed on the topic of how to identify the correct swing highs and lows in the market. Now, in this episode, we are going to continue on that our discussion about market structure. But this time, we want to look at the concept of CHoCH. Now, CHoCH stands for change of character. If you do not understand how to properly identify your CHoCH in the market, then your reading of the structure of the market will become somewhat faulty. Therefore, you as a trader, you really need to understand how to correctly identify your CHoCH in the market. A lot of videos are making the rounds on YouTube about this topic of CHoCH, but a lot of these videos, or many of these videos, are actually clearly misleading. But in this video, I'm going to show to you the objective way of identifying your CHoCH in the market. All right? Without you understanding how to identify the CHoCH in the market, then you will always be on the wrong side of the market. If that sounds like something that you would like to learn today, please stick with me immediately after this very short intro. Hello and welcome back. This is Rally Top Investing. Now, in today's video, I'm going to teach you the correct way to identify your change of character in the market. I've seen lots and lots of videos on the YouTube about change of character, but I find a lot of the videos quite misleading. Now, but in today's video, I want to show you the objective way for you to be able to identify change of character in the market. All right? Now, change of character is an important topic in the smart money concept that you need to pay attention to understand. As you know, price cannot just start moving in one direction forever. There comes a time that price will change, the market will change direction. Now, as a trader, if you don't understand how to correctly identify the point where price changes direction early enough, then you will continue to trade the market on the wrong side of it. And that's why the topic of CHoCH is very, very important. Okay? Very, very important. Now, make no mistakes about it. CHoCH is not a confirmation of a trend change. It is simply an early signal to tell a trader that the current structure of the market or the current trend of the market may be changing direction. Okay? It is not a confirmation of a trend reversal. I want you to understand that. For a reversal to take place, you need double break confirmation. All right? I want you to understand that. Now, how do you identify the correct CHoCH in the market? There are three ways by which that can happen. There are only three ways in the market that you can identify change of character. But before we get to these three ways, let me show you what the retail SMC traders do or mark as CHoCH. Take a look at this first diagram. Now, according to the retail mindset, this is a high, and this high came down to produce this low, then went back up to print higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. All right? That is the structure, the retail SMC trader structure. That is not the bank structure. If you remember the last video we did on valid and invalid highs and lows, then you will be able to understand that these are retail structures. This is not institutional structures. I want you to understand that. If you have not watched that video, please go watch the video before you come to this one, so that you can understand exactly what we'll be discussing in this video. I'm going to leave the link of that last video about valid and invalid highs and lows, I'm going to leave the link in the description below. So please do well to check it out. Watch that video first before you come to this one. All right? Now, this is retail structure. And then when price takes out this last high here, take a look. When price takes out this last high, what do they mark? The retail mindset will mark this as a break of structure. All right? That will be a break of structure for the retail mindset. And then, because the books tell you that in an uptrend, for instance, the lows must be protected. The lows must not be violated. All right? But here you find a situation where price now comes back down to take out this low. Take a look at it. Price clearly came down, took out this low, and closed below it. Took out the low and closed below it. And then the retail SMC trader marks this as CHoCH. They believe that this is CHoCH in the market. Okay? So they mark it as CHoCH. Meaning that they are now looking for opportunity to go short instead of going long, because to them, price has changed direction. So this is change of character. And therefore, they will find an OB somewhere around here. They find an OB around there. Okay? And they enter their trade from there. Look at it. Let me show that to you. They enter their trade to go short from there. They place their pending order there to go short. All right? So they want to target perhaps this low. They target this low. Okay? And they said that's a good trade because it gives them 3.40 R. Okay? So they want to go short from there. They want to go short from there because they have identified a CHoCH. And look at what price will do next. The smart money will now push price higher. All right? And blows through this retail OB. All right? And price continue going higher. What happened? What happened there? Why did their OB not hold price? Why? After all, this is a CHoCH, change of character. Why did he not hold price? This is why we need to pay attention to this video. So if you are planning to watch this video halfway and close it up, please don't do that. Watch it to the very end so that you can understand what we are talking about. All right? So this is the retail CHoCH. All right? This is not the true CHoCH. Now, if you want to understand the true smart money concept CHoCH, now listen to me. 3 ways by which you can identify a change of character in the market. I'm going to show that to you. Now, this is the first way that you can identify change of character in the market. Now, as you can see, price. This is a retail high and this is a retail low. All right? So price printed this higher high and price started rotating back down. All right? And when it came, it took out this low here. Can you see that? What happened there? It took out the low. This is known. All right? It took out that low. There is liquidity resting below this low. If you have not watched our last video, I repeat, if you have not watched that last video, please go back, go and watch that last video before you come to this one so that you can understand the drift we are talking about here. All right? Now, it took out that low and then price went back higher. All right? To form a new higher high. All right? Let me denote this thing so that you can understand what we're trying to talk about. This is your high and this is your valid low. Why? Because it has taken out the first internal structure low. All right? It has taken it out. So this high is confirmed when this low was taken out. All right? And now, this low, this higher low, this very higher low, all right, cannot be confirmed just yet until it takes out this major structure high. All right? And that will be known as a break of structure if it takes it out. That's a boss. All right? Why is it, once it takes it out and close above this high, this low is confirmed as a valid low. Okay, so it took it out, and now price started rotating back down. Remember, this high cannot be confirmed as a high, a valid high, until it takes out the first internal structure low. And where is the first internal structure low in this case? Take a look at this. Look at this low here. All right, this is your first internal structure low. All right, so price took it out, confirming this high as a valid high. It confirmed that high as a valid high. So let's denote that that's your valid high. And so this is your last significant higher low, and this is your higher high. All right, so when price comes back down to violate this higher low, this last significant higher low before this higher high, all right, when price comes down to violate this low, all right, look at it, it violated that low. This is your major structure low, and this is your major structure high. Price rotated back down and took out this major structure low here and closed below it. What do you call that? That is CHoCH. All right, that is change of character. That's the first way you can identify change of character. So in this first example, the way to identify change of character is that you, until price, your change of character will be when price takes out the last significant higher low in the case of an uptrend. All right, it's the same thing in the case of a downtrend. All right, it has to take out the last significant, all right, lower high in the case of a downtrend. All right, so it has taken out the last significant higher low before this higher high in the case of this uptrend and close below it. So this means this is a CHoCH. That's the first way to identify your change of character. That's the first way to identify your change of character. Okay, now the second way to identify your change of character is this. Remember, in this kind of structure, it first took out this first internal structure low. This was not your change of character, as people will mark it, because they will mark here and now say this is a change of character. This is not a change of character, guys. This is not a change of character. And I'm going to tell you the reason with this next diagram why this is not a change of character. This is your valid change of character. Your last higher low before this higher high is your change of character. All right? In this structure here, that's the first way to identify change of character. Now, the second way is with this diagram. The second and the third way I will show you in this diagram. Now, take a look at this. This is the second way. You know that this is retail high and this is retail low. Price went up and printed this high. This high can only be confirmed as a valid high if it takes out the first internal structure low. All right, as per the way we map our structure at Rally Top. Okay, so this is your first internal structure low. So price has taken it out, confirming this high as a valid high, isn't it? This your high is now confirmed as a valid high. Now, price rotated back down, took out this first internal structure low, and then price bumped into this unmitigated OB here. All right, this is your higher time frame point of interest. Okay, so on your higher time frame, you have this point of interest, and price came straight into this your higher time frame point of interest. As soon as price taps into your higher time frame point of interest, if you now scale down to the lower time frame, all right, what you are going to be waiting for there is CHoCH. Because as you can see, price is coming down. It's coming down. Price is rotating down. This is the downtrend. But all these are internal structures. All right? And then price tap into your higher time frame point of interest. If you go down to your lower time frame or your entry time frame, all right? Now, your CHoCH will be at this point. Your CHoCH will be at this point. All right, that's your CHoCH. And I'm going to tell you why that is your CHoCH. So that's your valid CHoCH. The first structure high, after it tapped into a higher time frame point of interest, is your change of character. Unlike this one that you have to wait for the last significant higher low before this higher high. Okay, so this is your change of character here. Why is it your change of character? Why not like this one here? It is your change of character because it tapped into a higher time frame point of interest. That's the difference between this one and this one. This one, it didn't tap into any higher time frame point of interest. Price merely broke this major structural high here to form a new higher high, and then price started rotating back down. All right? When it rotated back down, when it came back down, it took out this first internal structure low here. This is not your CHoCH because price did not tap into any higher time frame point of interest. So that is the second way to identify your CHoCH in the market. All right? I hope you are getting what we are saying. Now, let me show you the third way now. The third way is price, after it tapped into this point of interest, it now created this change of character here. That means that this downtrend, this internal structure downtrend is over. It's over here. Once it takes this place out, it is over. All right? And price created this high and came back down to create this low before going higher. All right? So, price changed direction here. All right? From this bullish structure to this bullish structure. I mean, this bearish structure to bullish structure. Can you see that? Why is that? Why is here your CHoCH? Because it tapped into a higher time frame point of interest. Can you see that? Now, the second way is this. After price tapped into your higher time frame point of interest, price now rotated back down and took out this first internal structure low here. Can you see? It took out this first internal structure low, all right, to confirm this high as a valid high. So this becomes your valid high, guys. This becomes your valid high in the market. Why? Because it took out this first internal structure low. And then price comes into an unmitigated OB here, all right, before it started going back higher. And when it went back higher, this is your major structure high, and this one becomes your major structure low. Let me identify this low so that you can see. This was your major structure low, and this also is your major structure low. All right? I hope you are following these drifts. So now price from this point, after mitigating this OB, it started going back up. All right? And when it went back up, look at what happened. It took out this major structure high here with a wick, a candle wick. Can you see this candle wick? And close below this high. Can you see that? This is a wick, a candle wick. It wicked above this major structure high and then close below it. Can you see that? Once that happens, your CHoCH will now be here. Your CHoCH will be here. All right? That's your CHoCH. Just the same way that you have it when it tapped. Sorry. Your CHoCH. That's your CHoCH in the market. All right? Your CHoCH is not here. Why? Because it wicked above this major structure low. It swept the liquidity of the major structure high. It swept the liquidity of the major structure high and closed below it. So the first internal structure low will become your CHoCH, your change of character. So you can start looking for opportunities to go short. All right? But remember, this change of character is not a confirmation of a trend reversal. You still need another structure to be formed for you to confirm that this change of character will stand or will sustain. All right? So these are the three ways for you to identify change of character in the market. Okay? Is it not quite different from the retail method of saying that this is a change of character? I want you to understand that. This is true smart money concept that I'm teaching you now. Is the true smart money concept. Now let me show you some examples on the chart. Okay, so let's get to the chart and let me show you. Remember, I told you price. The first way is either price will take out the last significant higher low or lower high, depending on where the direction of the market. All right, and then when price comes to take it out and close below it, that becomes a CHoCH. The second way is that if price taps into a higher time frame point of interest, the first structure high, all right, in the case of a bullish structure, is your CHoCH. Now, the third way is that if price takes out a major structure high with a wick, a candle wick, and close below it, the first internal structure low becomes your CHoCH. Okay? I want you to understand that very well. It's the same thing in a downtrend. What I'm showing to you now is exactly the same thing in a downtrend, but I'm not going to be showing you that of the downtrend now. Or let me just quickly see whether I can do something about the downtrend here. Let me see whether I can do something about the downtrend. Okay. Okay. So let me see whether we can see. Okay, the downtrend now. The same thing. Look at it. It's the same thing in the downtrend. All right. The same thing. Okay. This is the retail structure. Now this one. All right. It's your CHoCH. Change of character. This is the last significant lower high before this lower low. And so when price takes it out, that becomes your change of character. All right? This is not your change of character, guys. This is liquidity being taken out here. Your change of character is here because this is your last significant lower high before this lower low in the case of a downtrend. All right? So this becomes your CHoCH. That's the first way. Second way is this. Take a look at this. All right? Price rotated down. Printed this low here. Why is this low a valid low? Because it took out the first internal structure high. And then it tapped into this higher time frame point of interest. Now, immediately tap into the higher time frame point of interest. And then you scale down to your lower time frame. The first structure low, the first internal structure low is your change of character. Why? Because it has tapped into your higher time frame point of interest. Power change hands here. The bulls were in control before. But when they got to this point, the BS took over and pushed price down to take out this first internal structure low here. So this is your CHoCH, change of character. Okay? That's the first way. The second way to identify your change of character. The third way is that price came back down, all right, to wick below this major structure low here. It took it out with candle wick. Not with a candle body close, with a candle wick and close above it. This is a major structure low. Once that happens, the first high, internal high, is your change of character. Okay? Not this one. You don't need to wait for this point. This is your change of character here. I hope you understand that, guys. So I want you to pay attention and go back test this thing. Don't take my words for it. Just go back and back test and then see how this thing works. Let me just show you some examples on the chart and then we call it a day. Now take a look at this. Price has been coming down and then went back up. All right, it went back up and came back down. Now remember, we are look at it. Price is pretty much down. All right, and then price started going back up. And when price is coming back down, all right, look at this OB here. Take a look at this OB. I want you to take note of this OB here. All right? Look at that OB. And let's see what happened here. Okay? So the OB comes, taps. Price comes and tap into this OB. All right? Your higher time frame point of interest. Okay? This is your higher time frame point of interest. Price taps into it. Okay? Now, if we scale down, I don't know whether, I don't think TradingView will allow this. I don't think TradingView will allow us to go this far. I don't think so. All right? So, but let us assume that you go down to your lower time frame. All right? When you get down to your lower time frame, this will become your CHoCH in the market. where is your first internal structure high? In this case, because price has stopped here. Now, let me show you your first internal structure high. This will become your first internal structure high. So that's your CHoCH. Okay? That's your CHoCH. I'm not going to be confusing you with this structure here. I want to show you a clear structure. All right? So that becomes your CHoCH. But for those in our VIP community, they understand that this is supposed to be your CHoCH. All right? But I don't want to confuse you. Now, so this is your CHoCH. Okay? This is your CHoCH in the market. Why is that your CHoCH in the market? It is because it has tapped into a higher time frame point of interest, and as price is going back up, once it takes out this high, that becomes your change of character. And as you can see, after that change of character, price started rotating back up. Can you see? Can you see the move up? Started rotating back up. I hope you understand this. This is what we are telling you now. This one here. Take a look at this. Can you see that? I want you to understand that. So that's the first example. Now I'm going to show you the second example of what we mean by the right CHoCH in the market, the true SMC CHoCH. Okay, now take a look at this again. This is another example I want to show to you. All right. Now, for the retail mindset, look at price created this high. Okay, price made higher high, according to them, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then price came down. To them, this will be a CHoCH. If price had closed below it, they will regard this as a CHoCH. In fact, there are some people who will still mark it as a CHoCH, even though price didn't close below it. All right? But eventually, price closed below this low. So this to them will become a CHoCH. All right? And because they believe that this is a change of character and that price is going down, okay, and this price moved down. So what do you think they are going to do? After your break of structure, what do you have? You have your OB. All right? Now, where is your OB here? After this break of structure, after this CHoCH, that means that price is going down. So you have to look for sell opportunities according to the retail mindset. And so they will look at this candle here and mark it as their OB. All right? To go short. But look at what price did. Price went up. All right? Took out this their OB, this retail OB here, and went higher. What happened? Why did the OB not hold? What happened there? Well, this was not true CHoCH. This is not CHoCH, guys. Take a look. Price rotated back down. All right? Created a low, a high, and a low. All right? Showing to you that this is a downtrend. But look at what happened here. Where was price coming to? Price came into this 15M OB. All right? Point of interest. And look at it. It tapped into it. Immediately price tapped into this, your higher, this is supposed to be a higher time frame point of interest, 15M. Now let's get to the 1M and let me show you CHoCH on the 1M very easily. All right, let me show that to you. Okay, so this is where we marked. All right, so price has come into this, your higher time frame point of interest. All right, that's come into this higher time frame point of interest. So where is your CHoCH here? Remember, when it taps into your higher time frame point of interest, you have to identify where your CHoCH is. All right. Now, this is your CHoCH in the market. All right. This becomes your CHoCH in the market. All right. That's your change of character. I want you to understand that very well. That's your change of character. Why? It has tapped into this your higher time frame point of interest. So you don't need to wait for anything else. All right. And after that, you can now start looking for buy opportunities. And as you can see, after that change of character, price rallied up. It fired back up. Can you see that? So this is the way to identify your true SMC CHoCH. That is the first type of CHoCH. And I'm still going to show you one more example of another type of CHoCH that I explained to you. I told you we have 3 types of CHoCH. and I'm still going to show that to you for you to understand. All right. Okay, so this is another example of CHoCH. You know, remember I told you there are 3 ways by which you can identify CHoCH, and this was the first way I told you about when I was showing you on that diagram. All right, or in that diagram. So this is the first way, and I want you to see the first way, how it works. I've shown you the one that comes from higher time frame POI. Now let me show you the first way here. Now, but first of all, let's look at the structure of the market. As you can see, we are pretty much bearish. So the market is completely bearish. All right, but let's mark some structure so that we can understand what we are doing in the market. Now, we are going to start from this low here. Now ask yourself, is this a valid low? All right, again, if you haven't watched our last video on valid and invalid highs and lows, please go watch that video first. All right, I'm going to leave the link in the description. Watch that video first before you come to this one, so that you'll be able to understand what actually we're talking about when we say valid high or valid low. All right, so this is our valid low. Why? Because it went up to take out the first internal structure high, all right, and printed this high here. So essentially, this is what you have. This is your structure now. So you have a low here, which is valid, and then you have a high here, which is also valid. All right, so this is your low, this is your high, and then price came down. Why is this a high, a valid high? Because price came down to take out this major structure low here and close below it. All right, and then we got this low. Is this your valid low? Of course not. This is not your valid low. All right, so we leave that out, and then we go to the next one. All right, we go to the next one. Is this your valid low here? Take a look at it. Is this your valid low? Well, this will be your valid low. Why? Because it has taken out the first internal structure high, all right, to create this higher high, and therefore this becomes your valid low. This valid low here, and this becomes your valid high, and I'm going to tell you why this is a valid high. All right, take a look. Price, this is your valid low, so we can mark that as your boss. This is your breakout structure. Okay, very easy, nothing to stress about. All right, that's your breakout structure. Okay, and this is your high. Now this high is confirmed when price came back down to take out this very valid major structure low here. All right, it took it out with the candle body close, confirming this high as a valid high. Now after that high, we have a low here, but this low cannot be confirmed just yet until price takes out this major structure high, which is your first internal structure high. But now in this case, this also acts as your change of character. If price closes above this, then it means it's a change of character. All right, it serves as your first internal structure high and your change of character. And as you can see, let's see whether price took it out. Well, as you can see, price clearly took it out. All right, price took it out, and that will become a CHoCH. All right, that will be a CHoCH. Why is it? It is because this is your last significant lower high before this. So once it takes it out, this low is confirmed as a valid low. All right, this low is confirmed as a valid low. I want you to understand that. So that's your valid low. Now, so why that is your valid low? Of course, you know it is because it has gone up to take out this major structure high here, all right, and close above it. So that's why this low is confirmed as a valid low. All right, so this is one form of CHoCH that you should understand. All right, the first two that I showed you was price tapping on a higher time frame POI. All right, and then you switch to a lower time frame to find your CHoCH. All right, now this one is different from that. Here it didn't tap into any higher time frame point of interest. What we did here was we identified our last significant lower high before this lower low, and then price went back up to take it out and close above it. So that means this is your change of character here. All right, and therefore you can start looking for longs here. And as you can see, price really rallied up after that CHoCH. Price started running up. All right, so that is all about CHoCH, how to mark CHoCH properly, not this one that you just mark everything that you see on the chart as CHoCH. All right, I need you to go back and backtest this thing. Don't take my words for it. Just go back, check it, and then you will see that what I'm telling you is really very, very relevant. All right, so that's where we'll draw the curtain for today's video. But before we go, please, if you are new to our channel, kindly subscribe. All right, and hit the notification bell so that anytime we publish a new video, you'll be the first to be notified. Okay, and let me just remind us that our promo for our private mentorship course is still running. All right, it's still running, so please take advantage of it. The promo opened on May 15 and it's still running. All right, we reduced our mentorship fee by 50%, meaning that instead of $200, you are now paying $100 within the timeline that we have given. After the timeline has expired, we reverse to our normal $200. Okay, and again, we have a program that is coming up, very, very crucial. It will be beneficial to you. All right, it is called SMC Bootcamp. All right, in that bootcamp, it's only for $50. In that bootcamp, you are going to have access, all right, to our VIP basic class videos. Sorry guys, you are going to have access to our basic class videos. I'm sorry guys, I have a crooked voice. I don't know what is happening there. Okay, so you have access to our complete basic class videos, VIP basic class videos. All right, it's going to last for 2 days. It's a boot camp for 2 days. All right, the first day you will see all the videos. You have access to all the videos of the basic class. You watch them, and then the second day will be question and answers. Where you don't understand, you ask. All right, so I will be on ground to handle all your questions. So take advantage of that. Okay, take advantage of that. We are going to have that boot camp by first Friday and Saturday of June. All right, but registration will end, I think, May 26 or something, if I'm not mistaken. All right, I will leave also the link to that in the description so that if you're interested, you can join. All right guys, I'll see you in our next educational video. And one more thing guys, if you have not, we have a new Telegram channel called Rally Talk Group. All right, we are no longer using the old Telegram channel, so we have a new Telegram channel known as Rally Talk Group. All right, and if you get to that Telegram channel, you'll be amazed because we are posting on daily basis high probability trade setups. All right, we want to help you to make money in the market for free. So we are posting high probability trade setups every day. So if you are looking for trade setups to make some good bucks from, then join that Telegram channel. All right, it is completely free, completely free. I'm going to leave the link also in the description. All right guys, I see you in our next educational video.